This week on the Orion Newscast. The 17th annual Pumpkinhead got people standing in the plaza on crates for a $1,000 prize.
23 years ago, our radio station, 106.7 Z-Rock, thought it would be really fun to get a bunch of people, put them on milk crates with pumpkins on their heads and see how long they could stand.
And our movie critic thinks Zombieland could be funny, but unfortunately it does not live up to the original.
While the sequel carried similar elements that made the first film so great, especially Eisenberg's omniscient narrator dialogue, Zombieland Double Tap is lackluster and dull.
Hey, what's up? I'm Danielle Kessler. I'm a reporter for the Orion of the Arts section, and we're here at Pumpkinhead 2019, and we're just having a good time watching people stand up here for hours, and it's awesome. It's a good time. So you're Paul Boris?
Just Boris.
Boris is fine?
Yeah, Boris is fine with 106.7 Z-Rock.
Awesome.
23 years ago, our radio station, 106.7 Z-Rock, thought it would be really fun to get a bunch of people, put them on milk crates with pumpkins on their heads and see how long they could stand. And back then, this was in downtown Chico, it actually lasted days upon days, but because, liabilities and people getting punched in the face by homeless guys and stuff like that, we changed it to a one-day event a number of years ago. But basically all these people are competing to see who can stay the longest, and the last person standing wins $1,000. Back in the late 90s, there was a lot of drinking and drugging going on in in the old Z-Rock world. I'm not saying it's that different now, but it's one of those things where you drive by or you walk by and you're like, I think you answered the question off camera. Is we want to make people ask the question, why?
Wait, that was like on the Facebook description for it, I think.
Yeah.
It was just like, why? And I was also like, why as well?
And there's no real answer to that question, because so many people come to this thing and you're like, well, why do you come? And really the only answer is, there's a $1,000 grand prize, and plus that's some pretty good bragging rights for the next year. It's a yearly event. We do it every October, and it starts, these guys got up on their crates at 8 o'clock this morning, and we anticipate the last one will fall probably sometime between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight, unless by some miracle they're able to withstand a lot of Dane, who's one of our guys. He's called Dane the Destroyer. He's felled quite a few people so far already, and I imagine some more are going to go down. And I want to say the longest in the history was 3 days, but that's back when we gave them bathroom breaks and stuff like that. The only thing they've been able to eat or drink is stuff that people that are coming here to support them actually have to feed them. They can't use their hands, they can't touch the pumpkins, and they got to keep both feet on the milk crate.
So there's like a college version of this that's going on next week, is it?
That is correct, yeah. We decided to make the whole month Pumpkinhead this year. So our finale party is at Riley's next week because, Riley's is such a legendary college bar here in Chico. We decided to do this whole thing again, but just with college students, because you guys are indestructible, so it should be real interesting to see, who's going to win that $1,000.
Hello there, I'm Angel Ortega, and I'm the Orion's resident film critic. Today, I'll be reviewing Ruben Fleischer's Zombieland Double Tap, the sequel to the 2009 film Zombieland. Taking place 10 years after the events of the first film, Tallahassee, played by Woody Harrelson, Columbus, played by Jesse Eisenberg, Little Rock, played by Abigail Breslin, and Wichita, played by Emma Stone, are doing quite well for themselves as they've managed to survive Zombieland and conquer any obstacle that has come their way. However, tension arises between members of the group, causing the group to split. I'm a huge fan of the original film. Everything from the writing, acting, and the iconic opening backed by Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls made Zombieland one of the best comedies of the last decade. While the sequel carried similar elements that made the first film so great, especially Eisenberg's omniscient narrator dialogue, Zombieland Double Tap is lackluster and dull. Every character was simply a caricature of themselves from the first film. Harrelson's Tallahassee was more obnoxious and one-dimensional. Eisenberg's Columbus was somehow an even more boring person than Eisenberg himself by lacking any emotional depth that Columbus had in the first film. Stone's character simply existed and not much else. And Breslin's Little Rock was nothing more than a rebellious teenager overwhelmed with angst. The side characters that were introduced throughout brought more to the table than Little Rock ever could, which was disappointing because Little Rock's character served as a perfect partner for Wichita in the first film. The writing in this film is fine as far as contemporary comedies go, and the runtime is perfect at 99 minutes. So as a standalone film, it's a subpar zombie flick. However, as a sequel to one of the best and most beloved zombie films in recent cinema, it's disappointing. I would recommend it if you feel like $11 are burning a hole in your pocket and you want to watch something to turn your brain off for half an hour. It's funny, it's not too long, but it's not the sequel that 2009's Zombieland deserved. I give this film 2.5 stars out of 5.